How's it going, guys? I'm racing the sun here, so hopefully I'll get this clip done. I'm just going through the compost cage behind me here and pulling out a load of compost and also the compost worms, and thought I'd bring you along and show you how many worms I can get out of a garden fork worth of compost. The compost itself, this stuff here has been made based on trimmings from the mango tree, also Chinese elms that we coppice down the fence line. We mulch all that up and throw that in there. We've also thrown in horse manure, garden scraps from around the yard. The odd cane toad and rat have made it in there as well. The thermophilic bacteria are so active and it's so hot in there, over 60 degrees, that they smash straight through any small animal we throw in there, or fish frame or anything like that. So I'm not too worried about that. The size we have here is a metre cube or a yard cube, by the way. It's not a small pile. Definitely wouldn't throw those fellas into a small pile. With the worms, just quickly, I've been so blown away with the number that I've collected out of here that I've cancelled an order I had with a local chap, Brian. He's very understanding, thanks mate. He also has a YouTube channel here, so check that out up there. He's basically got a few different farm setups and situations going in his backyard. He mucks around with different bedding materials. He uses aged lawn clippings and cardboard bedding material, and whereas we use normally a horse manure or cow manure in ours. So he's got a couple of different ideas some people might find appealing. People who don't, can't get the materials that we use but want to have a crack anyway. I'm probably going to swap over to something very similar in the future as well. I want to stop buying in as much stuff as we can, become self-sufficient, grow our own compost and whatnot. So the sun's just ducked behind a garage over the road, so I'll get cracking and show you what's in this compost. So just before we get started, this is what the compost cage looks like. It was overflowing at one point and it went down to roughly around about halfway, and I've slowly been emptying it and using it in pots and pouches and beds, so really chuffed on that. I might give you a quick look at the other compost pile we've got on the go here. This one here is nowhere near as old, and this one's actually been turned 3 times, so I'm really happy with the way it's actually sped up and broken down a lot quicker. And pull it apart a bit here. It's actually, yeah, slightly warm in the middle, but not overly. And it's still got a couple of bug larvae in there. We're going through every now and then, and Bianca's going to take them.
Chickens are going to love me.
Chickens are going to love her. And yeah, so we've basically got some awesome compost here already. When this compost pile started to sink, I added in some cow manure to feed it up, as well as some loosened hay. Other bits and pieces we've put in there is stuff like this galangal we've harvested for dinner. There's some corn stalks in there. I think some off fish food went in here as well. There's a bit of a nitrogen kicker in one of the top-ups. There's an avocado skin, and we've also put loads of coffee in there. May is bringing coffee home from her job now, so that's been going in there as well. But yeah, I mean, look at that. That's already ready, this stuff. So once the other cage is empty, I'll start on this one, I suppose. Let's get to the worms. So there's a decent pitchfork or pitchfork garden fork size lump of compost. Just empty him out. I use a fork too, by the way, because I don't want a shovel to damage the worms. Little container here just to pop them in. Saw one fella trying to hide away already. I'm just going to pull them out. I will put bedding over the top of them once I'm done, but I thought I'd just show you how many worms I can collect first before I do that. Now, what I like to do is just get these clumps, break them open, see what's in there. I'm seeing, I don't know if you can make him out, but I'm seeing a lot of worms that size and even smaller, so there definitely is a very healthy population in here, and they're producing a lot of cocoons and a lot of young. So I don't tend to harvest compost worms this way anymore. I'm only doing it so I can collect them from the compost pile here, basically. With the worm farm itself, what I do is I use a migration method, and that's when you feed up one end of the worm farm and the worms will basically congregate around that food, and you can take all the castings out from the other end and you don't have any problems at all. The other benefit is, if you do want to take some worms out, if you want to split them and give them to some mates or put them in a garden bed or whatever, what you can do is stick a nice lump of food up in the feeding end, and you'll find that the worms will congregate all underneath it, and you can take it out in one great big lump. Makes harvesting a lot easier. So there's a quick little look. Bianca can just hold them. I'm just going to give this a bit of a shake. This just helps get rid of some of the material so we can find some of the worms. They can actually be very hard to see. A couple of small ones there, but I'll let them go through. I'll just show you, as you can see, there's not a lot of wood chunks. There's a bit of clay from the horse manure that came in, but there's not a lot of wood chunks. And the bits that we do have in here, like this bit here, they break apart very easily, very sponge-like, and they hold water. So I don't know if you can see the water between my fingers there. So stuff like this, I love it going out into top dressing the garden beds, because the worms, it becomes food for the worms as well, and yeah, it just helps hold moisture in that upper layer. So fantastic stuff. I just found another one. So anyway, what we'll do is take him off, and we can go through down here. Oh, it doesn't look like there's many under there. No, I think I've got most of them. There's one there, another one there, another one there.
Oh, one in the corner.
One in the corner. So a few make it through, but whatever's left in here can go out to the garden. But this is the quality of the sieved compost that we're getting. Absolutely fantastic. There's a little baby worm in there. I don't know if you can make him out, just in the centre of the screenish. It's just there.
Right there.
Good one, B. I don't know how well that's coming out, but there's 3 worm cocoons there. Now these cocoons will hold anywhere up to 7 eggs depending on the variety, so they're great to see in the compost. It means the worms are happy, they're reproducing, and these guys here I'm just going to leave back in here with this compost, and they can go out into the patch. So these are the worms we pulled out of 1 fork worth of material, so there's a fair few in there. I don't think they like the phone light being on them, so we'll leave them be. But yeah, very, very pleased with the amount that we're pulling out of here. I've already got a bit of a collection in here from earlier. So all these guys, where are we? Pull these guys out. These guys came from the first scoopful, so definitely loads of worms in there. And yeah, I think the worm farm's going to be repopulated very quickly. So this stuff here, we'll just go around some plants and some pouches and barrels and garden beds just to give them a bit of a feed up. I better get cracking before it gets too dark. So there you go, folks. There's a bit of a look at the amount of worms we're taking out of 1 fork full of compost from the compost cage. Must say, I am mighty chuffed. We've been using this stuff to grow potatoes up the side of the house. They're booming at the moment. Top dressing different pouches and beds and barrels, so the plants all seem to be doing really well with this stuff. Also too, I'd like to just thank Brian once more. Check out his channel up there, he might give you a couple of ideas, and there'll be a link in the description to his Gumtree link once I get it off him. Yeah, he sells the odd worm here and there, so he might be able to help some locals out in southeast Queensland. Also too, I'll put some links down below to Bentley's redworm composting site. Loads of great information there, top bloke Bentley. Also too, the Facebook worm farming vermicomposting group as well. You might find some useful info there. And what else? Oh, I'll put a couple of my links up there as well. Composting and vermicast playlist, or vermicomposting playlist. Check them out just to see how we've done it in the past. A couple of different methods we've used. So I'll stop rambling on there, folks. If you do have any comments, questions or suggestions, feel free to pop them in the comments section below and I'll get back to you where I can. Other than that, I hope everyone is well and happy, and I shall catch you next clip. Cheers, folks. I hope everyone is well and happy, and I shall check you next clip. See ya. Thanks, Bianca. Bianca's pulling funny faces behind the camera.
There's one right there.
Bee's just come down to play spotter. She doesn't want to get her fingers dirty.
Nope.
Nope. See any more, boss?
No, you may continue.
I may continue.